Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Mushkan Singhwali and I am back with you and with another podcast. And today our guest is Dan, Danelle Boyles and she's our new guest and today we are going to interview her. So let's start. Assalamualaikum and how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for having me with you today.
Thank you so much. So thank you so much for giving me your special precious time. And my first question with you will be that can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure, absolutely. I'm Danelle Boyles of the United States, and I am a practitioner of many different professions. I'm an educator. I work with high school students as a vocational trainer and case manager. I also work with an external behavioral service called Apex. I own a part time business, Emotions and Art Healing Studios, as a holistic practitioner, and I'm a writer and artist, among many other little side ventures that I do. But most importantly, I'm a mom of two older boys, and we have a house full of pets. We have four cats and a dog, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Okay, thank you so much. Good to know about yourself. And now my next first question will be that can you tell us about your journey?
Oh, yeah. Anything particular or just in general?
Just in general.
Okay. Um, in general, my journey in life has been pretty far spread. I have grown up in predominantly in Evansville, Indiana, in the United States, and I have moved and come back, returned to family on a few different occasions. I've lived in Israel and have traveled to Israel many times when I was younger, and I have lived in Florida, but predominantly I've been here in Evansville. I've been in education for about 22 years. I have worked in special education pretty much all of those years. And, as far as journey, I have many things that has led me to here where I am now. It's a very vast story of all different types of life experiences. Um, as far as journeying to here, it has taken a lot of work. It has taken a lot of effort, divine guidance, and just, a continuous propelled momentum of doing and going and learning to get me where I am today.
Thank you so much for sharing your journey. So now my next question with you will be that what inspired you to follow this path?
There's many things that have inspired me. And as far as path, I have many paths. But as far as inspiration, probably predominantly are my children. I became a mom at a very young age. I was married at 19 and had my first son at 20. And then I had my second son in my 30s. So I have a 17-year-old and a 29-year-old. And so beginning with them, I always found it very important to work on who I was in order to provide them with the life path of where I would like to see them go and to see them develop. And in order to do that, I had to do a lot of work on myself individually and where I wanted to be in life. Um, so pretty much my kids are a pretty divine source of what leads me on my path. But a little bit more advanced, both my boys are older. Like I said, they're 17 and 29. Um, a very predominant part of my pathway now is led through the humanitarian work that I do globally. and that intercedes with different humanitarian organizations and different education sources and resources throughout many different countries. And the entire process of helping align equality and the peace process, developing consciousness and conscious efforts across the globe. So that is where a very large part of my journeying into my pathway now, currently, and in now times, is my work that I do globally.
Thank you so much, and I'm great. I just really learned from this answer. And now my next question will be that how did you discover your calling?
Oh, through writing. It actually all started with writing and being an author. I have participated in many global platforms for authors. And this began with teaching children online through different humanitarian organizations and different writing platforms, and meeting different people globally through those platforms. And so writing is really, and being an author is really where a lot of it began. Very base though, it began in education. But being an author, I was involved in a lot of different educational platforms to help people learn and develop, grow their writing habits and their performance abilities. And so when I started doing the writing platforms and doing live performances, many different forums for refugees, refugee camps, people who have experienced very extreme traumas in their lives, great displacement in their lives. And so that is really where it began, is when I began working with different people who were in different circumstances that dramatically changed their life. And so through writing is where that began.
Thank you so much, and thank you. I just learned. And now my next question will be that who has influenced you the most?
Oh, I get this question asked a lot. And as far as having an individual that has influenced me the most, honestly, there's not any one predominant person in my life. There's been many individuals that along the way have inspired me. But the kind of person I am, I'm used to always encouraging and helping others. So it's kind of like being the leader of the pack. And so most of the people that I admire and look up to have passed. They no longer are with us. But if I wanted to bring it close to home, where my real inspiration, like for humanity, for being a conscious person of emotional development, it would be my grandmother. I grew up very close with my grandmother. I spent a lot of time with her. She was always a very divinely loving, caring, guiding, human that loved family and loved people and really connected with people. She was more of a quiet person, but she very much connected with other people.
Wow, that's good of your grandmother. Thank you so much for sharing. So now my next question with you will be that what role has spiritually played in your life?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the very first part of the question.
I was asking that what role has spiritually played in your life?
What role has spirituality played in my life?
Yeah.
Spirituality is a very it is very important in most aspects of what I do, but it's it's also it's more of a just a divine connection to who I am. Whenever you become a spiritual person, it's a little different than when you carry religious values and such, because you take a lot of your faith based guidance from a divine source of yourself. And so you're always led through your spiritual divination of who you are and who you envision yourself to be, and what kind of steps are required in order to achieve that. And so spirituality requires almost an openness, to be open to everything, all connections of all religion, all connections of understanding of God and source and universe and of yourself. And so spirituality, it means a different thing to each individual. But for me, spirituality means sovereignty and divinity, and it does play an important aspect, but mostly because I rely on divine source to kind of help guide me along the way.
Wow, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing with me. So now my next question with you will be that what does yeah. My next question with you will be how does humanities connect with your healing?
How does humanities connect with healing? It's very
Yeah.
important. Humanities and the work in humanitarian purposes, uh, you know, they go very much hand in hand, because it is my main it's the main thing that I uh, guide myself along the way here currently in life. It's humanities and healing is kind of utilizing your resources to help others heal. It's utilizing your divine resources to help the world heal, to help balance the imbalanced, and utilizing my own healing, because we all go through many things in life that put us in a place of needing to recognize where we need to be healed, things that we've experienced, things we've gone through. And so utilizing a lot of my own life adversities that I've experienced has pushed me towards working in humanities. Mostly in the aspect of helping others rise up to understand that there's not any limitations on them, limitations on what they can do, where they can be, where they can go. And, by healing a lot of those inner things within us, that helps with balancing that out. But, but yeah, healing is very important with my humanitarian work.
Yeah, thank you so much for telling me and for sharing with me. So now my next question with you will be that how does Horlicks mean to you?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first part of the question. The audio cut out.
Yeah. So I was asking that what does Horlicks mean to you?
Okay. I'm sorry. There's the middle word. How does what mean to me?
I was asking, yeah. How does Horlicks mean to you?
I'm sorry. It's probably a language barrier with the dialect, but I'm not understanding what the word is that you're saying, my dear.
I'm asking that how does Hollister mean to you?
Okay. Can we put it on a ticker on the screen? Is that an option so that I can read it? Or if you want to type it in a chat and send it to me? Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm not understanding the
Sure,
the middle
you can
word.
see.
Yeah. Are you able to send the question in our
You can,
chat, or do you want to
I
move to
have
the
sent
next
it, you
question?
can see.
Okay. Oh, holistics. Okay, my apologies. Um, holistics are very important to me. Um, as a predominant part of the practice that I do, as a holistic practitioner, we try and balance our self care and how we manage, our medical wellness in an aspect that trying to incorporate a little more independence into how we perceive things that we experience. And a lot of things that we experience through, it's a very delicate area for a lot of people because holistics is all about observing the body and the mind from an internal standpoint and what it needs in order to function properly. And whenever these get out of alignment, whether it's nutrition or imbalances within our chemicals or imbalances within needing rest, or even supplements and different things our body needs, such as salts or vitamins, these are all very important key roles. But when it comes to illness, much of the population has fallen away from taking notice of what can be done in order to either avoid a lot of illnesses or in order to be able to um, identify and care
Yeah.
for yourself to find the root cause of issues. And so it's focused more on the root cause. Holistics is focused on the root cause instead of treating just symptoms. It figures out what is needed in the body as the root of the problem.
Thank you so much for understanding, and I really appreciate it. And thank
Ah,
you
thank
so
you.
much for sharing with me.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So, uh, now my next question with you will be that yeah, the next question will be that how can we bring balance in daily life?
Keeping balance in daily life is very important. It's very important to me as far as being able to, balance many things. I have kind of stepped
Yeah.
back in a lot of my roles in the last few months. In order to incorporate a little more healing time and rest time for myself and to dedicate like myself to like my own works. And so being able to prioritize a schedule or a routine, being able to keep a good calendar. Keeping a good calendar is very important to me because whenever you have many events planned throughout the week, which I'm sure you do probably keep a very tight, clean calendar because you do a lot of podcasts and interviews. And so you always have to know, exactly when you need to be available. And so doing that is very important for me, keeping a very scheduled calendar. Everything goes on my calendar, no matter how large or how small it is. Everything is always itemized on my calendar.
Oh wow, that's really good. Thank you so much for sharing with me, and it inspired me a lot. So now my next question now my next question with you will be that how can awareness change our lives?
I'm sorry, how can you what?
How can awareness I'm asking that how can awareness change our lives?
Having awareness. There's all different kinds of awareness, but mostly being able to identify with your own internal awareness of being conscious of our daily habits, how we are with other people, how we are in society. A lot of people are becoming much more aware that the active conscious awareness is very important. It's very important for our world. It's very important for how things play out in our society and how we express ourselves to other people. So every day is a very important active awareness. And so being self aware, I teach predominantly kids. I work with kids a lot, and so whenever you are starting with them when they're younger, it's easier to teach younger people awareness and consciousness than it is to teach older persons of age, who have already developed and grown and settled into habits. It can be very hard to alter those changes, and so it can really dramatically change how your life can be in the future whenever you are aware of your habits and behaviors and awareness.
Yeah, thank you so much for for sharing with me. I really understand. And now my next question with you will be that how do you guide people in your in their growth?
How do I guide people in, I'm sorry, what was the last word?
I'm asking that how do you guide people in their growth?
As far, it just really depends on the practice, what we're doing, what it involves. And, whenever you're guiding people, sometimes it has to be a gentle practice because, when people are first learning to develop new skills or self awareness, it requires just prompting or maybe some advice. Whenever I work with new clients that are trying to develop like new neural pathways, new habits, it requires a very direct approach. Whenever you're working with a lot of adults, they want to know exactly what they need to do in order to develop the new habit or the new pathway that they're wanting to move into. So it just really depends, whenever you're guiding individuals on whether it's professionally or whether it's with my school kids or just as a friend. Um, it just depends on the person.
Okay, thank you so much. That's really great. And I understand a lot of in this interview, a lot from you. And now my next question with you will be that what inspired your art?
I'm sorry, what inspired my what?
I say that what inspired your art?
My art? Oh, there's all kinds of things that inspire my art. Sometimes it'll be a visual of seeing something that I'm inspired by, whether it's nature or the shape or design of something. Sometimes it's purely energy. Sometimes it's things that I experience and feel externally and universal processes and energetically. A lot of art is very energetically driven because then when people view it, then they feel and sense and experience that. Sometimes it is emotions. A lot of times emotions. My one of my taglines was always feel the colors. And so whenever you see color and the shapes and design, it really stirs you emotionally. And art can be very healing in all different kinds of ways. So there's all different kinds of inspiration for art.
Yeah, thank you so much. So now my next question with you will be that how do you my question is that do you think creative is healing?
Do I think of myself as healing? Yes.
Yeah.
Um, Whenever you do the kind of work that I do, there's a lot of, and it's funny because I actually just had, I don't know, kind of a pivotal moment, a thought idea earlier today is, there's a lot of people that don't approach the like the idealistic, um, just the idea in general that you are healing. And they consider it to be egoic to think that you are a healer, which it's really not. To be a healer and someone who is practiced in healing, it is a gift that is to be appreciated and respected and taken seriously, because you are impacting other people's lives when you're utilizing divine gifts that you're given, and not just given, but that you've worked very hard for. To get into a pathway of where I am now, it has taken a lot of self work. It's taken a lot of conscious work. It takes a lot of self
Yeah.
development and learning. It takes a lot of learning about other people and experiences. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much
Mhm.
for sharing with me, and I really understand with you this answer. And my next question will be that what messages do you share thought writing?
Oh gosh, and writing, there's so many messages. I've written over 400 pieces of writing. Um, so there's a lot poured into the writing, and it's everything from healing to life experiences, how you want other people to see and experience you, or to experience themselves, inspiration. There's so many things about writing and my writing that is conveyed. A lot of it is actually conscious work. And so whenever you do writing and you do art, it can carry conscious codes or energetic codes that other people receive that helps them heal, and then, also in turn help themselves move into a healthier space. So there's so much that flows through the art of writing, so much expression.
Okay, thank you so much. So now my last question
Oh.
with you will be that which yeah which do you enjoy more, art or writing?
Oh, that's very hard. I bounce back and forth between the two a lot. I have been doing much more writing in the last few months. So my art has been kind of put on hold, and I haven't done a lot of painting, but I have done more writing. So it's kind of like on two different paths. And
Both.
so if I ever had to choose, I don't know that I could. I I don't know. That's a hard
Oh,
one.
that's
It's a hard, yeah, it would be a hard pick between the two. Yeah.
it means Yeah, it means you live both to do like um you are a creative person, you can do art at arts time, and you are really creative. I'm really inspired by you. Thank you so much for coming in my studio and giving me your time. I'm really
Absolutely.
happy to interview you. Thank you so much. Allah
It's
Hafiz.
been my pleasure. I thank you for having me
Bye.
join you. All right. Thank you.